Hey there guys, this is Eddy Wang and I'm here today to talk about how to apply pressure with hat trick glove. Well, hat trick glove is a variation that doesn't have exactly any plus cancel trap. The best is that over pressure is by landing heavy callback, which is plus 13 on block, so you can use this to loop some of your pressure, but isn't exactly loopable till the very end, so you have to be really creative on how to hit people with it. And also Scorpion, I put Scorpion here for a reason because it has a 6 frame spoke, so doing a regular callback up close on Scorpion will leave you at -7, so Scorpion can punish your callback with a down 1, something anyone just really didn't look at. I still think that callback in general should be -5 on block. So how do you apply pressure with Kanglao hat trick? Since it doesn't have any plus pressure, what we're going to do here is something that I call it the game of faces. What the game of faces is having a lot of layers on your pressure, so it makes difficult to predict which one you're going to use. So as long as you get creative, any opponent, whoever shall have a hard time trying to guess whether you're going to trap or you're not. Some of these strings are actually safer and leave you at -6 at best when cancelled into trap. There is some that are -9, and the very least, very least is standing 3 into trap, which leaves into -3, and standing 4 leads into -5, but those won't be really useful on real matches, except for when you land a callback. You want to do this in some cases to stagger people because there is less block stun. It's more block stun, so people won't always misjudge the timing, so you want to use some of this to catch people off guard. So what are we going to learn here is some sort of time scrambling. What we're going to do is show you some strings that have some, either you can cancel your trap early and not be exactly safe, but it can mess up with people reactions like 11212, which is -3 on block. You're not canceling into strings or into specials, but allows you to grab people. It also allows you to stagger them as long as they think the trap will come out. There is also back 12214, which is -3 with a pushback. You always want to use the full string instead of just 1212 is -4. People cannot poke back and you can grab afterward, so it's a string to use, but the back one is a good stagger. You want to use this one because it's neutral on block, so you can catch people trying to react to it because this one hits actually, so you can do this. There is a lot of things that you can do with it. There is also forward 2-1, which is -3 on block now. Used to be -8, but Paulo made some cleaning on the string and is now actually usable. There is also forward 2-1 into down 1, used to be -14 with a huge block zone and pushback. I actually, before the patch drop, I was using this string on the last days and it was getting good results. Now it's safe on block, it's even better. What this string does is use it to harass people because you can let your trap here and be at -9, which is punishable, and also poke punishable. So you want to use this one instead because people won't expect the last hit actually, and you get harassed by it. So it's a string that the last hit cannot be broken, I believe, because of the disjointed hitbox. There is also a few strings that you can use to be safe on hat trap, and they are all -6 on block. And the first one is forward 3 into trap is -6 on block. 112 into trap is also -6 on block, but as some of you know, 112 some characters can just crouch it and make it which sucks. Back 3 through into hard trap is also -6 on block, so you want to use this. And back 2 into hard trap is also -6 on block. So let's go into review again. Forward 3 trap, 112 trap, what else? Back 2 trap and back 3 through into trap. Those strings are all -6 on block, so this allow you to let your trap out safely. The best the opponent can do is mash a down one in order to try to get out of it. So this is how you put your traps out whenever you can, and from there apply the game of faces, which is people won't exactly react to your traps because you can just scramble off, and so they will just mash. People usually mash instead of saying, no, he's doing a hard trap, so I'm going to poke here. No, people don't do this with hat trick. They just try to do down one, and whatever you try to go from there, it's your business. At the best they are safe, because if you block, there is nothing that you can do if they just do a poke and you block it. So what this gives is a game of faces. I call it game of faces because there is a lot to it, and it's kind of complicated to just narrow it down to A, B or C option. It's more complicated than that. The opponent can poke you, although he cannot hit you out of these traps, but he can still choose to grab you, so you have to make some hard reads on this one. I'm going to call reversal throws here. So if you do this string and you block, people will just grab you out of it. This one too, and this one too. So what you want to do out of these strings is to neutral crush it so you can punish. You can also use callback. Callback has a throw invincible property, so people cannot grab Kang Lao when he's doing a callback. So this is what you're going to use in order to escape some of the throw hard reads. I call it hard reads. So people tend to neutral crush it, so to avoid the throw and then punish it, but you can also just do a callback. Yeah, it works the same. Okay, so if they hit you when you do a callback, well, you will get hit if you block anyway. So in most cases, if your hard read is that he's going to do a throw, you want to neutral crush it because it's the only way to avoid the throws, or you want to jump back. It also works. So you want to jump back, but jump back conversions are kind of difficult with the trap out. So you want to neutral crush or just use callback immediately. Using callback immediately allows you to punish them trying to grab you, which you will be using a lot. It works on any string that is not -10 or over -10 because throws are 10 frames. So this will work. This won't work. This will work. This one is kind of difficult, but it can also work. But the Windows work is my tiger. So you want to use these strings in order to escape throws hard reads. So now let's talk about how do you punish people poking out of your pressure. As I said before, we have something called game of faces, which is if I block a down one, I can just loop it back. Okay, you can just continue looping it back. You can continue looping it back. So learning this string is pretty important because it allows you to loop your pressure and to apply it constantly. I can even do that while talking, but it's a string that you are going to use most of the time in order to get your pressure going. So this is the first part of the game of faces, which is doing loopable pressure once you block a down one. If they try to mash a string right after they do a down one and you block, they're going to get punished, so they don't want to do that. If they try to mash a second poke and you do a forward 2, you're going to punish them, so they don't want to do that. They want to block or they want to grab right away. And if you find mashers are people that instead of doing down one block, they will mash down one as long as possible. So these people can also get punished by some of these things, like you can actually do a down one, which is now 7 frames, into call back, and if they're mashing, they are going to get hit because they are getting greedy. It also works on strings because most of the strings are highs, so you want to do a down one into trap, into call back to screw the timing, and if they're mashing any string at all, they're going to get launched. This is how I get most of my launches, because people are always trying to get greedy, trying to punish me with a string, punish me with a slower move, so, and trying to react to the trap instead of just mashing down one, which is really rare, but it happens. So you want to do this most of the time. This is how you get your pressure, but this is not the end of it. So the best way to get your pressure with hat trick is landing a hit with hat trick. Either you land a down 4, you want to cancel into a trap because it's +7 on block. From there the opponent is forced to block, because if you call back right away, they're going to get launched if they try to move. You can also do a overhead into the trap. So interesting. So you want to do, when you land an overhead hit into trap, you are at -2, so this is mostly likely to catch people trying to block the law most of the time. So you want to use this. So returning to our recording scene. So when you do this, you want to mix people up. So we go into stance. Okay, so you want to mix people up. When they block the block string. So you do this and they poke you back, right? Yes. No. So you do this and they poke you back, and you do a down 4. Now you can apply pressure for free with forward 2 or just call back immediately. So this is one of the things. So this is the first one. The second one is you want to mix, okay? You want to mix this. You want to mix this with the overhead when you do the heavy callback. The heavy callback is the most important part, because when you do the overhead or the low, depending on if it hits, it allows you to do multiple things. If you get a down 4, you can get a hard trap back, okay? So if they're blocking low and you open them with an overhead, it's another story. So you want to do this when you are mid-screen or in a corner. The corner also works pretty much better, because there is a lot that you can do in the corner. Let's just put them into stance. Right now into playback again. So if they block and they pop back, and now you can do this again, okay? Yeah, so let's do this again. If they poke you, and now you can do this again. Yeah, so this is the first part. The second one is, as I said before, if they block low, you open with the overhead, and in the corner you don't want to get opened by Kang Lao's overhead, because if he does it, he gets a free combo, right? So this is the first part. This is practically how do you apply pressure with Kang Lao, but this is just part of his game. The other part is how do you recognize the patterns of your opponent, using in conjunction with the round trips and the Hatarang, which is one of the best specials in the game. So you want to use this, okay? I've been doing a huge amount of takes of this video. This is probably the 10th one, because my English isn't exactly that good, and maybe I think that it gets better when I woke up and I'm awake about some long hours just before, so I feel kinda weird speaking English now. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Any questions you can ask me on Twitter, @tiger, or you can go into Test Your Might and ask me. So be seeing you guys soon. There is a lot to talk about. Regardless this new what trick, there is a new matchups to go on and new techs to find out. So hope you guys follow around, and see you guys in the next video.